Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Welcome to a very, very special event live on the USS Midway, brought to you here today by Cloudcast Media. We are kind of doing a fusion event of two of our flagship shows, Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, and Mission San Diego Military, brought to you by American Military University, the #1 military university in the United States. And boy, oh boy, I'm here today with Noa Brady. Noa, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Feeling good about being here on the flight deck?
Oh, I'm feeling great.
It's a beautiful spot, but we're here for a really, really important reason. There's a press conference taking place today by the San Diego Military Advisory Council, our partner on the Mission San Diego Military Show. And it's really something important that California should be really trying to move forward on to help our military veterans and to talk about the topic of increasing tax exemptions for military pensions. We're here joined today by Pete Mirisola, who is a Senior Director, AI and Autonomy for a global aerospace and defense company. Pete, welcome to our Fusion Show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're on two podcasts at once, Spotlight in the Community and Mission San Diego Military. Great to see you.
Yeah, thank you. It's incredible. Thanks for the opportunity to come out and sit down with both of you.
And I know this is your second time around with Cloudcast because you were on Mission San Diego Military recently in studio, not on a flight deck.
That's right.
This is kind of a cooler location, though.
Oh, much cooler, yeah.
Yeah, no question. And it's actually really beautiful out here today.
Terrific. Absolutely gorgeous.
So Pete, real quick, AI and autonomy, what a fascinating field that you're in. Tell us a little bit about that without mentioning the name of your global aerospace company.
Thank you. AI and autonomy means so much to so many people, and aspects of the technology development I think are often misunderstood. You really need the artificial intelligence and machine learning software to actually translate computer programs into hardware actions that machines take, and that's the autonomy or robotic side of it. So,
yeah. And talk about the future of the military, no question about it. You're in a hot field.
Yeah, as you can see every day from the news, what's going on in different hemispheres of the globe, more and more robotic systems, autonomous systems, and even remotely piloted systems that still have a human somewhere in that operational loop. More and more are just present on the battlefield and protecting our nation, surveilling the national borders, and it's just not the United States. This is now, as you can see, in going back 5 years in Ukraine, and now in what's happening in the Middle East. How much this technology is ingrained in military operations and truly at the forward edge of battle, at the forefront of what's happening.
Yeah, no question. But it's a good segue because when we talk about AI and autonomy, and you're seeing it on the news every day in a variety of formats, but there's still some really precious souls and humans that are also involved in what we see on TV every day. And that's kind of why we're here today, to talk about the humans in our military and how do we take better care of them, here in the state of California. So tell us a little bit about why you're here today and why this is important enough for you to spend your time to support SDMAC on this very important issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And I collaborate with SDMAC on a whole host of issues here in the San Diego area. Myself, I am a 30-year retired Navy veteran. And after I transitioned from active duty, my first employer was in the aerospace and defense industry. So that is what brings me here today. So both as a veteran, both a part of the defense innovation ecosystem here in San Diego, which is also a growing network of companies, academia, and the government, kind of that triple helix. And I do a lot of work helping workforce development in San Diego, helping veterans get jobs and helping those institutions that support veterans to build stronger and better programs to encourage companies to invest in California, invest in San Diego, to create jobs, and again, needing that workforce development to fill those jobs.
Yeah. Well, listen, I know that David Boone, who's the CEO of the San Diego Military Advisory Council, has done incredible work nudging and pushing the state of California to try to do better and better and better. And no, what we're talking about here is a relatively simple issue. It's taxation of the pensions that go to the military that are residing here in the state of California. Many states have already exempted pension income. California's done a little bit better, but maybe bring us up to speed. Where are we right now in this issue?
Yeah, so California is one of only 12 remaining states that still tax military pensions. And how that translates into the workforce here in California is it's increasingly more challenging to retain those skilled veterans to remain, or to, once they leave active duty, to enter the workforce in California. So many retirees, because of the taxation on top of the high average prices that we face in California, from real estate to gas to food, it's almost the pension part of it is the breaking point. So when those families are making decisions whether to stay in California or not, unfortunately oftentimes they're going out of state to seek their retirement location and seek employment in one of those other 38 states who do exempt military retired pay.
Yeah, Noah, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think from what I know about the experience of military veterans is that, after they leave the service, they aren't taken care of as much as they should in our country. And I think that somebody who protects our country obviously deserves the utmost attention and care. And especially California, a state that I'm so proud to be a part of and to say that I'm from, and has probably some of the biggest military presence in our country. It seems a bit backwards that they're being taken care of with their pension a lot less well than other states. And why should they have to leave their home just to be able to keep the money that they so rightfully deserve?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And California writ large, and San Diego specifically, has so many other things to offer veterans as they leave the service. Not only from military treatment facilities for continuing health care. If they are 20-plus year retirees, they retain their benefits to shop at commissaries or any number of the exchanges. And like for myself, I'm also seen medically at the VA Medical Center in La Jolla. So having that world-class VA facility here and at your disposal is a tremendous benefit for veterans. But that's not enough to overcome the taxation part.
Yeah.
Even with all the great infrastructure here to support veterans, just that one thing alone means dollars in someone's pocket.
There's no question about it. And when the overall scheme of things, too, Noah, and I think you'll appreciate this, the state of California is a huge economy. Excuse me one second. It's a huge economy. So this is a really, really small number. If they were to exempt completely, say, no taxation, it's not a huge number on the budget.
Not at all. Through the analysis that SDMAC has done and other organizations supporting veterans, the amount of money that the state would earn in taxes, keeping the skilled veterans here working, and the investments that would come into the businesses in California, paying corporate tax from those companies, inspiring new businesses to come, products being built, made, and sold out of California, all that would eclipse that minuscule amount of taxable income that you just mentioned.
Yeah, no, you nailed it. And no, it's a cascading effect as well, because the veteran, quite possibly, mathematically likely, is married. They have a spouse. So when they leave, you're leaving two incomes behind. Assets leave the state. The house gets sold, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a cascading effect. And
it's taking away from our economy by trying to suck dry those few cents from the military veterans that earn that money.
Yeah, and then there's the employment issue. A lot of them are still, after they retire from the military, like yourself, 30-year Navy veteran, now working for a global aerospace company. You're still employed. You're back in the workplace. So it's such a short-sighted position, as I see it, for the state of California.
And it's very short-sighted in the here and now, and not thinking about, as Noah just mentioned, those families. Oftentimes, veterans retiring at either 20 or 30 years, they have their families with children anywhere between middle school and maybe college. So now you're removing 2 generations of Americans from California.
Yeah.
And so there is a generational trickle down. If you're able to keep the veteran and spouse here in California raising children, the propensity for the children to stay in California increases. So now you have generational Californian citizens.
There's another really important component. I don't know if this has been addressed enough, but I see it when you come on the Midway. Okay, volunteerism. The military community is a tremendous group of volunteers throughout San Diego and throughout the state of California. You're patriotic, servant leadership. You're always looking out for others. And you come on the Midway here, and virtually everyone that greets you on the Midway is a volunteer. And chances are they served in the military. So you're taking a huge, and by the way, nonprofits can't survive without volunteers.
Correct.
Mathematically, financially. So you're extracting so much social capital out of the state and out of the city if we don't get this issue right.
Yes, because a lot of these veterans in their service beyond their second careers, as you mentioned, they're your local community leaders.
Mm-hmm.
They're your volunteers, as you mentioned here at a wonderful facility like the Midway. Some of them go into public education. Some transition in providing health care. So veterans, as you mentioned, are so service-oriented. That's the first thing that drives us to join.
That's right? Exactly right.
It's not certainly not the paycheck.
That's exactly right. So just out of curiosity, since we're talking volunteerism, besides SD Mac, and obviously thank you for your tremendous work with David Boone, elbow to elbow with him in some important issues, any other organizations you'd like to lend your time to?
Yeah, actually, my wife and I both volunteer for athletic club that we belong to, the Hano Hano Outrigger Canoe Club in Mission Bay.
Okay, very
so
nice.
We do a lot of fundraising events for them and great sporting activity, focused on not only teamwork but individual health and well-being. So
that's beautiful. Well, you mentioned teamwork. On this particular issue, what kind of team, how do we all come together to help you and David and other leaders in the state of California City? So what kind of team do you need to make this issue happen in the state of California?
Yeah, so really that team starts right here in downtown San Diego at the municipal level and the county level, making sure our state senators and assembly people understand the importance of SB 1407 and that it means something to voters on election day when these ballot measures come up, and how the citizens would like Sacramento to vote and pass these things.
So is there something you're asking the citizens of San Diego to do? Who to call, who to write to, who to talk to, who to email, who to hit up on social media? What do we need to do to join the team to make SB 1407 a reality?
Yeah, really, I think the easiest thing you hit on, since I do work in the technology field, is leverage those digital platforms, those apps and websites you can get on. Contact your local and state reps. Let them know that this is an issue as a voter that you care about, and you would encourage them to cast their vote in Sacramento to pass 1407.
Are most of the San Diego elected leaders at the state level behind this issue?
I get the sense that they are,
okay.
Not having spoken individually to their staffs to confirm that, but it seems so many San Diegans that have never served in the military still love our servicemen and women, and they want to do what's right to support them. So this is truly an extraordinary community where people who don't serve or haven't served still support those that do, and that runs very, very deep in this community.
So what seems to be the biggest hurdle with getting this passed?
I think it's just the getting that information out at the local level, and then having it flow back up to Sacramento to make sure it is brought to the floor and voted on in the State House.
Yeah, wow. Well, listen, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Charles Parisi. I'm the CEO of Cloudcast Media, filling in, not terribly well, but filling in for Drew Schlosberg and David Boone. They are the co-hosts of Mission San Diego Military, and Drew also is the host of Spotlight on the Community, brought to you by Mission Fed. Mission San Diego is brought to you by American Military University. University, and we've been discussing a really important issue, SB 1407. And fortunately, we were able to sit down with Pete Mirisola, Senior Director, AI Autonomy, for a global aerospace and defense company. Pete, any final words you'd like to say to the citizens of San Diego to support the military on this issue?
All right, well, first, I want to say I'm sorry I missed Drew today. I really enjoyed myself on the previous episode.
I won't take that personally, Pete.
No, but I will say, Charles, and to you, Noah, this was an exceptional, extraordinary opportunity and event. So thank you for allowing me to speak to you. And then, getting out to the to my fellow citizens here in San Diego, please make sure that your elected officials know how important this is to you as a voter, to the strength of our community, to supporting our veterans, and ultimately creating jobs and increasing the livelihoods of so many families here in the state of California.
Noah, I'll let you take us home. Any final thoughts?
Thank you so much for sitting down with us, Pete. It's been very enlightening, and I'm looking forward to seeing the work you do come to fruition.
Great. Thanks, Noah.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks for listening, everyone.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.